This week's episode of Cursed Earth Radio's Weekly Dredd is brought to you by Lumpy Cola.
Why can't we ever have nice things?
Dredd, turn on your transistor radio. It's our favorite program. Hooray!
This is Cursed Earth Radio.
What's up, Dark Judges, Desperados, and Dudes in Dick-Shaped Helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio's Weekly Dredd, the weekly show where we talk about the weekly Prog, and we try not to say weekly so many times. What are we talking about this week?
You're stuck in a loop. We're talking about Prog 2157 this week. We've got the final chapter of Guatemala, some more of Defoe Divisor, Brick Hatebox, Hope, and Dead World Doom.
So you're saying nothing has changed?
Well, one story has changed dramatically.
Well,
it has ended.
But it's all the same stories this
Yes,
week.
same this week.
Oh, okay. Hey, this is Heavy Metal Kid.
I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
And this is Cursed Earth Radio.
Keep listening, creeps.
Oh, God. You have Creeping Frank's disease again?
No, I cough once and you think I have Creeping Franks again. No, I'm good.
Well, there was a scare because we both got something, and I don't know how we...
When I'm scared, I make monkey sounds.
That makes two of us. So, hey, what's going on this week? There's a lot of stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah. So, did you play the Case Files game today?
I did. I think I know what you're talking about.
Did you get your Mark I Lawgiver pack?
Yeah, the Mark I Lawgiver pack is 50% off.
It was. Did anybody else? Like, I'm gonna get a call and response. Jesus, Murphy.
Drop it in the comments, bros. Tell us if you played the Lawgiver.
Click a lick and subscribe.
Don't forget to smash that bell.
I can't do that anymore. So I know what Planet Replicas put out in front of you that you lost your damn mind about.
I cannot handle it, dude. So apparently there's this thing called Thought Bubble, and it's a convention over there in the Mega City 1, also known as the United Kingdom somewhere.
That would be Brit-Sit, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if we're in the Cursed Earth, though, see what I'm saying?
They would be Brit-Sit.
You know, because if we're in the Cursed Earth...
Outside of Mega City 1.
Right. I consider the United States the Cursed Earth because we don't fucking get the Judge Fire badge.
We don't?
Well, okay.
Also, close up the podcast. We have no idea what the fuck we're doing
If
now.
I could have went to Thought Bubble, I would have had one because they sold them there. And I'm in the position where I would pay anything for one. Like if he would have been like, yeah, man, we have one, but it's like $500 and you have to cut your arm off. I would have been like, yeah. Okay.
I hope the manufacturer is listening.
Well, I talked to him. I was like, hey.
This fish doesn't even need a worm on the hook.
Yeah, he said he said that they are working on getting all the Carlos Lawgivers out.
Uh-huh.
And once they get that out, maybe. And I'm so paranoid that I check it every hour. Because I'm like, what if... Man, they also had those East Meg.
Yeah, the East Meg judge was pretty rad. No, I was excited that you were excited because I know how much you love fire.
I got so excited that I went and ordered one of the existing badges just to have something.
Which one did you get?
I ordered a Side Division badge.
Oh, nice. I stole that logo for our hoodies.
Our hoodies, yeah. I know. It's so awesome.
We have hoodies, nerds.
Yes, we have two.
We have two hoodies. So, no, I've seen their Jock badge, the Mortis badge they also did, and the Death badge. Did they do a Fear yet?
No Fear yet. But there have been
saving the best for last.
They did a poll on Twitter about which version you would like. Do you want your like letters floating, or do you want them almost in like a bar, like the Judge Death logo?
Yeah.
So that's coming. But man, if I can't get that Judge Fire badge,
you're gonna lose your mind.
Life just ain't.
Oh my God, HMK is gonna need a hard reboot.
Yeah, speaking of things that are traumatic.
Oh, so old Johnny went off his rant last week. So I heard a robot pissed you off this week.
Oh yeah, certainly. So anyone who's been listening to our show, and honestly, we have no idea how many people listen to our show. We've
Steve and Utica.
Yeah. So we got the 50% off coupons that we were so excited about.
Oh, the carrot on the end of the stick.
Now, it was on us that we thought the 50% off 2000 AD coupon was for 50% off your whole order.
Look, I've said it once, I'll say it again. All the literature speaks to that being true. There's no asterisks. There's no...
It is off of one item.
No. And it doesn't... None of that.
But, I was okay with that. You got so frustrated that you used yours on a digital thing, which is sad.
What the fuck else was I going to do?
It's sad.
I needed a case files for the show.
I know.
And I'm like, fuck it.
Well,
I did get the pit.
I got in there, and I thought, I'm going to buy myself a shirt, because we have a big show coming up.
Yeah.
I like to wear 2000 AD.
As I am
clothing.
starting to do.
Yeah, and so I put my shirt in the cart, and then I thought, well, the shipping is going to be expensive anyways. I might as well get a couple shirts. So I put 2 in the cart, knowing that I would only get 50% off of one, because, dear listener, I had my cart full with my stuff and your stuff before.
Yeah.
And it was taking 50% off of one of the shirts, one of those $18.99 shirts, GBP, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went to check out, and all of a sudden, 2000 AD, t-shirts are not included. And I thought, well, maybe it's just those $18.99 ones. Let me get one of the $35 ones.
How'd that go?
Also not included.
Oh my God.
So I was just I'm at the point now. Well, so I just ended up ordering nothing.
And they were happy to give you 50% off that.
We are right back here where we were before.
Oh, it's a never fucking ending loop.
I mean, and I would love to hear from someone else. We don't.
I would love to get a T-shirt.
Well, if you have ordered something, just somebody else tell me that you ordered like the day that you got the coupon, like the day it came out, and that those shirts were half off, because I know that it's true, and now I know they're listening to us and they're fucking with me. I think that's what's going on. It's so hard to be a fan.
It is.
In the United States.
It's like we unintentionally up the difficulty level on ourselves.
Because if you want like the older shirts, the ones that came out in 2017 that have that cool little Tharg on the bottom, the deluxe shirts, you're paying $50 to get one here.
Yeah.
Shipped. And that 50% off coupon would have helped me so much. But you know what? At this point, here's my strategy.
Fuck it.
I'm going to wait until the most expensive thing they've ever released comes out. And I'm going to order that. But here's what I know. It will also not be included.
Yeah, so you're
I love you, 2000 AD.
Why do you keep hitting me?
Johnny and I pay each month to talk about you.
Yes.
But we hate you right now. I hate you right now.
I really wanted that logo Raglan.
Yeah.
2080, and I wanted the Fear one and the Recyc.
Yeah.
I can't rationalize paying the cost of the shirt and shipping to get the shirt to me.
I know. Well, and my thing is like, all right, if I'm going to order something, I'm going to order a bunch of somethings. And I was ready to do that, but when it won't even give me my 50% off, I feel like that guy, Johnny. Do you know there's that dude that works for Collider? And he didn't get invited to the Star Wars thing, so he went on this big rant saying, like, I've busted my ass being a Star Wars fan all these years.
No.
And it was just so
This
embarrassing.
ain't a paying gig.
I feel like that guy.
Yeah, I know, I got you. I noticed a lot of bands from Europe and in that area have opened up North American merch shops to help the Now, I know this is a stretch because there's 6 of us over here.
Yeah.
Last I counted. If they had a North American, just a fucking merch shop, something.
Yeah.
Help us.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
I feel like they're starting with that new series that's coming out.
Oh,
the
yeah,
hardback.
yeah.
But come on, man. Like if you want a distribution center, Johnny and I will run it for you.
Yes.
The 2000 AD Cursed Earth branch.
Yes.
And
we will be happy to help.
So there's that. Let me tell you about the other frustrating thing.
Oh
this
boy,
week.
here we go.
So we are new at this podcasting thing. I've done it before, but I wasn't the tech guy.
Yeah.
Somehow now I'm working on that.
You
kind
of put this yoke around your neck.
Yeah. Well,
I'm artistic endeavors and being charming,
and I'm trying, and I'm gonna name.
You've been doing a great job.
I'm gonna name names here. So we decided to go with Podomatic because we just rolled the dice.
Yeah, because we said, hey, here's this.
And so we're going with Podomatic, which is great. And so we get to the point where we're already paying for Pro, and it's all of a sudden we're what, 6 months into our podcast?
6 months. We started in August.
So yeah, look at how
8 weeks.
So we're
holy shit. Work a calendar.
We are.
HMK.
Well, we are. What I'm saying is we're already out of storage.
Yeah. And you know what happened? We did the episode.
Necropolis.
We did the episode on the Warlord Dredd game, and we got a huge spike.
Yeah.
And that kind of banked our.
Well, no, it wasn't that.
Oh, not our bandwidth, our storage.
Our bandwidth is fine.
But
it was the storage, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I guess I'll upgrade. So the upgrade, which is us paying $5 more a month, no big deal. But here's the problem: it only gives us like half a gig more.
Half a gig? This is 2019, sir.
And right now we have 2. So I'm like, okay, how do I get unlimited? According to Podomatic, I'm going to be paying $47 a month.
Yeah, that's a non-starter.
And we don't make money from this. So,
like, you and I both need another hole to throw money into in our lives.
Right. So I start looking around, and Podbean has unlimited for $9 a month. So I just go ahead and switch, and you have to message if we're going through Podomatic, I have to message them. Here's how shady they are, and we're sticking with them, Johnny. But I'm telling you, they're shady.
That's news to me because
I was frustrated.
As far as I know,
you don't know the rest of the saga.
Okie dokie.
So you have to message them to give you your RSS feed to switch over, right?
Yeah.
Here's the catch: you can only get that if you have Pro.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But we have Pro.
We're professionals.
Yeah, apparently. So I messaged them, and they're like, hey bro, why are you leaving? And
Did they say hey bro?
Well, it was that kind of thing. And I said, as I said earlier, I said, we were fine with you guys, even though we don't show up in your app very easily. We're fine with you guys, except there's not enough bandwidth. And I said, Podbean is doing it unlimited for $9. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll send you your thing, but what if we could match their price and give you unlimited bandwidth? And I'm thinking, like, okay, so it's that easy. So if someone's a sucker...
So it's the car salesman bullshit.
Well, yeah, if someone's a sucker and they're just like, okay, I guess it's $47, you're okay with screwing them over. But anytime someone's about to leave, you're like, no, don't go.
It's like...
And so I said, like, sorry, man, like, I think, we already paid in. What I didn't tell them was we already only paid for 1 month because I don't know how this stuff works.
You just told them.
I don't care now. So then they were like, he's like, hey, that's cool, man, if you want it back. But I went ahead and I restored you for free all the way through the end of 2020. And I was like, oh, that's good. And
Wait, so we're hosted for free?
All the way through. And I said, so is that unlimited? And he's like, yeah, that's unlimited too. And we'll just continue on after that. You can pay your monthly fee after 2020. And I was like, okay.
You watch, they're going to back charge us.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a $800 bill.
Yeah, and I just thought, like, all this back and forth we went through could have been avoided if they would have just been like, hey, here's the actual rate.
It seems like we're way too far along in all of this technology for that shit to be happening.
Yeah, like, it's absurd. And so, as much as I'll say, like, hey, good on Podomatic for keeping us, but
it's the same shit, like, if you go to Comcast and, like, why the fuck is my cable bill $300? I'm going somewhere else. And they go, okay, well, now it's $75. Like, you fuckers.
So one last thing with that. People keep asking us, and
They do?
They do. And we've never really considered this before. But
we haven't? What?
People
what
keep
haven't we
asking
considered?
us if we're doing a Patreon. And I'm really, like, anti-crowdfunding.
Yeah.
But Patreon is more of a, like, hey, I like listening to you here so you can run your shit. So that's always an option, but I don't want to be the Patreon. There's actually a Judge Dredd related Patreon right now that would put out like a year ago and was like, hey, I want to review Progs every week. And nobody backed it.
Well, so we've already kind of established ourselves.
I guess. So I want us to do a Patreon.
We're a known quantity, as they say back over.
Sure. Well, and being supported by Otto Sump, you would think.
God damn.
But I want to do
lumpy fucking cola.
I want to maybe do a Patreon, but we really got to think about it.
Yeah.
So if somebody has some ideas,
exclusive content or
yeah. I mean, now that we have
HMK
unlimited, HMK nudes. I'm a fatty, remember?
Look at that belly whale, yeah.
All right, so that's enough ranting. Is there anything on your end? I mean,
why is the cola lumpy? What the fuck?
Hey, man, it's not an Auto Sump thing either.
Can we get a sponsor that doesn't reside in one of Dante's circles of hell?
Oh, God, I don't know. Oh, one more thing.
Yes. Ow!
Nick Percival is working on 2080.
Fucking awesome.
Coming up. So we're going to get a Nick Percival story, and
there's going to be some beef.
Yeah, there's going to be some beef. I can't wait.
So,
all right.
You want to talk about the Prog now? I'm gonna go on record. Your rant was nowhere near as entertaining as mine was.
Well, I wasn't as angry as I'm just tired.
I was my rage is untethered and it knows no bounds.
Yours was an important thing.
Yours was also important.
Like Dredd talking about Walter's good name. Mine was just trivial stuff like the future of our fucking podcast.
So as we wrapped last week's Weekly Dredd, I believe you said you really wanted more Red Razor action.
That's all I ever wanted.
Literally the next morning, I'm checking Instagram in my office because I'm a terrible employee.
Yeah, sure.
And in 2008, he posts the cover of this week's Prog, and lo and behold,
Cliff Robinson.
red razors ripping apart the Dead.
It's good. And what's cool about it is it's not done by Dave Kendall. Mm-hmm. And so you get like a completely different vibe. It's a totally different style of artwork, and I like the variance. I think it's nice.
And it's, it's not so bad all the time that our phones are listening to us and transmitting our thoughts to our favorite entertainment venue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was cool, man. And this Prog is a big one because it's the end of Guatemala.
Yeah, it is.
Did you predict that last week?
I didn't. I may have. I don't go back and listen. It's like the fucking stats on unemployment in Mega City 1.
My thought, I know, last week was that they were going to stretch it out a little bit more. And it wasn't quite the Universal Monsters ending.
I will say this: it came to a close really quick.
Yeah, it wasn't Universal Monsters, but it was a quick ending, quick-ish.
For a Judge Dredd story, Dredd doesn't do fuck all.
But I felt like it was warranted.
Yeah, I mean, he says so himself.
Yeah,
but that just kind of struck me as like everybody else around him in the end of this is doing something, but Dredd does one thing which I liked, and but first page. Ronald, or it's not Ronald, it's one of the Mechanismos, is protecting Joe from fire from El Presidente's robot troops. Mm-hmm. And Joe said, the Mechanismo says they're targeting you, sir. And then Dredd says, they think my death will stop the attack. If something happens to me, you make them think otherwise.
It kind of opens up, and things are, the palace is falling. This is like when they dethroned Saddam Hussein, and the people were tearing down his statues.
I feel like we missed some parts.
Going
like there's some stuff that could have been here drawn.
Yeah, I feel like they were just like, okay, and it's ending.
And
but I don't mind that because it's like we don't really. The old style 2000 AD would have shown us 3 Progs worth of this bloody battle. And I feel like for the stories, the core of the story was not really even so much the fighting, No,
it was
okay with that.
Man, Ronald just does not hesitate to fuck shit up.
Well, yeah, because the Dose comes up, with his boys,
trying to shake his ass, and Ronald
annihilates them.
Just about had enough of this.
And actually, I think though. Is that Ronald or...
That's Ronald with Beanie.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that. So that's just a Mechanismo.
No, that's a Mechanismo with Dredd. Just a standard.
Yeah, that's okay. And then Ronald
and Beanie are at the baby factory to get the grandchildren.
Yeah.
And Beanie's trying to get the nurse at the front, quote unquote, at the front desk, the traitor at the front desk to release. And she's saying, I can't. The fighting's outside. And Beanie just nonchalantly, don't worry, that's just Ronald.
Yeah.
And Ronald has just annihilated Dose and everybody Dose brought with him.
I love the Mark 8s. I hope they add the Mark 8s into the miniatures game. I love the Mark 8s. It's one of my favorite.
They're heavy, dude. Are they Mark 6s or Mark 8s?
I think they're Mark 8s.
Are you sure?
No.
I remember last week.
Because remember, El Presidente wanted how many Mark? How many?
I can't remember.
So he wanted 6 Mark 8s, or did he want 8 Mark 6s? He wanted 6 Mark 8s.
I can't remember. You're dyslexic. Me fucked up.
Somebody
now.
Look it up. Hey, guess what?
What?
Hershey's grandson didn't make it.
God,
but he didn't have a dick. So
that's
who cares?
Such a grim panel.
They took out his heart.
Yeah, and the robot surgeon's just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did that this morning. The rest of him was unviable.
And then he says something like, "Oh, I'm glad I don't have to do this anymore."
Yeah, and Beanie's like, "Yeah, I've heard that before." Right. So very, I was just doing my duty, like post World War II claptrap.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dredd and his Mechanismos are under fire at the presidential palace, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they get an assist from the incoming Humanistas, and there's kind of a good little panel here with Angelita and Dredd. Mm-hmm. And so our information was good, and Dredd actually thanks her. We fucked their shit right up because of you guys.
Yeah, we almost banged once, but then we didn't because I'm Dredd.
I have an awkward boner. I still have that awkward boner. And then you kind of get to see El Presidente panic and lose his mind.
Oh, you can see the fear.
Yeah, which is weird because he is a metal-faced.
Yeah, he looks so neutered and so nerfed.
Yeah, he has messed up his hair. He's yelling at these robots, and outside of his door is Uno.
Yeah,
So Dredd and Angelita and Dredd's Mechanismo backup come upon Uno. And Uno still being a dick.
Yeah.
Still thinking he's got some fight. He doesn't at all.
Nothing.
So, and he's got Gomez with him taking notes. He's doing his job.
I love this part.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This and what Ronald did were my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where Dredd says, Colonel Uno, how very fortunate. I was hoping to run into you. And the next panel is literally Uno just getting ripped to shreds under a hail of bullets. I love this little close-up. Gomez's hand
Fizz sput.
yeah, is actually writing Uno's final words, which is him short-circuiting.
I love it. Yeah. And so Dredd ends up facing El Presidente. We thought we were going to get some kind of... I wanted the Rambo ending where he rips out his processor.
This was the big letdown for me. And
really? Yeah.
I wanted a one-on-one with Dredd and El Presidente because even Dredd said he's had enough of this shit.
I agree it would have been cool, but in the end, this really wasn't Dredd's fight.
No, and he
said
Humanistas
fight.
I did have it marked down for myself, but it seems cruelish to refuse. So the Humanistas lasso up a frantic, and can robots have psychotic breakdowns and emotional breakdowns?
That's the question. Can they have emotional breakdowns, and can they be tortured? And the Humanistas are going to find out.
Yeah,
both.
and they just tether him up. I like when they first come in and El Presidente is berating them. How dare you? Do you know who I am? Do you know the magnificence that stands before you? And Dredd being Dredd is, I see a robot cook with a god complex.
Yeah.
It's just... So yeah, the Humanistas lasso him up and drag him off and promise to find out whether or not you can torture a robot.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is a twist or if it's just me not paying attention, but I didn't realize that Hershey was only the half-mother to these
I didn't understand that either. Like, she was the donor eggs.
Her sister was infertile.
Yeah.
She was the donor eggs. So
I don't think anybody knew that going into this.
Okay, because I thought maybe I missed it, but she had never seen it. Because there was a part of me that went, why does Hershey have kids in Guatemala, and why has she not seen them, and how did she have kids? And there was all these... Cause she's
yeah. But I don't think anybody knew that until this panel.
Okay.
I think.
So I was a little confused, like maybe I missed something, but apparently she was only their mother from afar.
Yeah. She supplied the egg.
Because, I didn't really ask a lot of questions when I found out that Hershey had kids, but... There was
it raised them all. Like, she's not supposed to have kids.
Yeah, but you just assume, well, maybe it's just some secret she's had, and maybe I thought maybe she, they were in Guatemala because she didn't want them to be taken or whatever the reason, So, apparently these were just her half.
They're still biologically hers because they're her eggs.
Yeah, they were like they refer to her as like their half mother.
Yeah, something like that.
Or something. So.
My God, this when they're on the jet back to the Meg. And what was it? Beanie's talking to Hershey's daughter, half-daughter, and she said, I know it's of little comfort, but he would not have suffered much pain. They kept them sedated. And this is one of the most heartbreaking things in the whole story, where she says, how kind of them. How kind they were while they cut out my little boy's insides.
And you know what I thought when she said that? And they cut off his fucking dick.
Yeah, well, yeah, and some of his outsides.
Johnny, they cut his dick off, man.
Here's my theory.
Holy shit.
So they've got her daughter in here who is pregnant. This is going to be something down the line.
Yeah.
This is going to be something. I don't know, and we don't know whose baby it is.
Baby it is.
How were they seeding them?
Ugh.
What nightmare process was it that was seeding these women?
In Guatemala, life is cheap.
Yeah.
I know that much.
It was robots cutting off dicks and squeezing them out like pastry bags.
Oh, God.
Yep, that's how that... So, yeah, we wrapped... And was it Hershey's half-daughter asked why Dredd is sitting apart from them? Is he always like that? And Beanie says, he was a very dear friend of Hershey's. I think the sight of you upsets him. Mm-hmm. So we got a little... Dredd's still struggling through this. What stage of grief do you think Dredd's in now?
I feel like Dredd rushes to acceptance.
He's bypassing bargaining.
And I'll tell you why. Because... Dredd is a master of the stages of grief because there's an old saying that says you don't have to like it to accept it, and Dredd doesn't like anything.
No, it's like
he's
duty.
A master of acceptance.
It's duty. Yeah.
He just continues on. But I think Dredd.
I love Dredd.
He definitely grieved over. He definitely grieved over Hershey in the hospital.
Yeah,
they're holding her hand.
I think. Part of his stages of grief was going to be dismantling El Presidente.
The anger stage.
Yeah.
He in the 2012 Dredd, when Anderson looks into Dredd, she says, "I see anger and control," and I thought that was an interesting thing.
The two parts of the Dredd sandwich.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think of Guatemala as a whole?
Honestly,
being the first prog I think both of us have ever. Well, you've been on board longer than I have.
Yeah. But
it was
together,
the first.
it was our
first
first
one. Our first time.
Oh my god! Quite honestly, there was a 5-second twinge of.
It's over.
I really the emotional impact of the end of that big release. Man, the new 2080 stuff is so well.
This was a really well put together story.
So
I liked it.
written.
Not the ending I wanted, because I think everybody wanted to see Dredd just destroy El Presidente.
I felt like
the ending made sense. It's just not the ending I want.
To me, it was like, and it should be that way, and it should. You do want to see Dredd rip his circuits out, but
or just watch Ronald and another Mechanismo just draw and quarter him. Just start like kids pulling the wings off a fly. Just
do we want to see a future shock where where El Presidente is just tortured by humanistas?
Yeah, he's just like his head's like an ashtray, like our
like our friends.
They're using it as a latrine.
Yeah.
So now we're on to. Now this was a little weird for me because this is the first time I personally have read a story as it was happening. I assumed that since that was the end of Guatemala, that it was going to be the end of all the other stories in the Prog.
Oh yeah.
So I thought they were all synced up to doom. No,
they're out of sync quite a lot, and that's why they make such a big deal of like jumping on Prog, because for the first time in a good while everything's
starting. Okay, all right. So look at me learning.
Well, and it's I guess again, we talked about this before. It's like jumping on Prog, but you're still jumping in the middle of something with continuity. But it's just your chance to be like
a fresh start of the story.
Fresh start with everything. Yeah. Defoe was grotesque this week.
Yeah.
With the artwork, man.
Yes, it was
so grotesque.
Right off the bat, you're watching the Dutch Prime Minister being devoured.
I love it because we heard about it last week. We laughed about it last week. And we didn't think we were going to see it,
and
but
we
certainly got to see it.
In grim, gruesome detail.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So the Dutch space program is in ruins. The Dutch Prime Minister is in several stomachs. And the Brits are kind of, patting themselves on the back because it didn't happen to them.
Yeah, and Defoe is about to be drafted into the fucking space program against his will.
Defoe really, Titus just wanted to sit down.
Man, there was something weird in this one, though.
There's a lot of weird It's Defoe.
Well, no, the weirdest thing for me is Defoe's got a fucking wife.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I was like, is that his mother?
And
is that
a child.
Wife? Yeah. So he really is like a garbage man.
Yeah.
He's a blue-collar guy.
Mm-hmm. He's just out here putting things to sleep that should have already been put to sleep. And
he's drafted to head of security, they say, because he's immune to euphoria.
Yeah.
So he is not tempted by God
even
or
though
the devil at all.
Defoe has worn the crown again and again and again that damned if we do, damned if we don't. Let's not let Adonazor go to the moon.
They're going to the moon.
They did. The Britannia's up.
Page 2 is beautiful, and it's the launching of the Britannia, and there's the demon and the flames.
See it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the only person that sees it on the ground is Defoe's son.
I love this, man.
Yeah. Look! Gallagras! All his fucking weird eyes. So, yeah, the crowd is just, they're thrilled because, land and kingdom.
Yeah.
Britannia overall. Rule Britannia. Jesus. Jesus. Holy
karma.
crap.
It's karma,
Yep,
Johnny.
bit me right in the ass. And we find out that Defoe's son sees the demon in the smoke.
Yeah.
This premonition.
That's some Weekly World News shit.
Yep. Oh, man.
That boy was in there, too. Yeah.
Hey, damn it. My dream job, no shit, coming out of college, I wanted to work for the Weekly World
Just
News.
so you could Photoshop things in.
Yeah, I wanted to Photoshop Satan's face in clouds, Bat Boy going to college. To this day, because they still operate as an online entity.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh my God! If I could get a job at the Weekly World News.
As a child, I remember seeing Devil's Face in plant fire, like some sort of fire at some assembly plant, and being like, "Oh my God, the world's coming to me."
My grandmother used to love tabloids. Her jam was the Inquirer.
My mom was all about.
But
that too,
Weekly World News is my shit because, oh my God, look at this. This is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, sidebar.
The artwork in this Prog is amazing for Defoe.
It's always amazing, but this, for some reason, it's so much more so. There's so much going on across panels and pages.
Well, there's that point in this too where they say, like, you know, your Donazor is given the understanding to our science officer, and he's looking at a page, and then we see the page, and it's insanity.
Look at this.
It's
Did you see
gibberish and insanity.
the Codex Lunaticus?
Oh my God, yeah. It's
I tried to Satanic Panic this. I'm not good at Latin.
well, I feel like that the point is just that it doesn't work. It's only powered by demonic energy. Like it's like the orcs in Warhammer 40K.
This is the
Their
blue
shit shouldn't
vitriol
work.
tank.
Also, are you going to try to recreate this?
What do you think we're doing after we're done with this?
Right.
Yeah, this is. I want this blown up and framed.
Yeah.
It's so like.
It's insanity and nonsense, and it's not scientifically. It doesn't make any sense, and that's what's cool about it. Because again, you're like, this is not, you know, the Britannia flying to space. This is demon power.
Yeah.
Taking it to space. Why Erdonazor needs.
I am terrified.
Why he even needs
Maybe
a
he
ship
can't
to
get
take
there
him?
on his own.
I don't know.
Under his own power.
Maybe he has a more sinister
You know,
need for people when he gets there.
Nothing good is going to come of this,
Oh, no.
and Titus knows this too. So we get a snapshot of the Britannia's crew, and it's like we've got.
It's the most Pat Mills thing that has ever Pat Mills on a page.
We've got an alchemist.
Theodore Mundanus.
Yes, he is already consorting with dark forces and reading arcane passages.
He's supposed to be the psychic defense against Erdonazor.
That's what we need in space, is the wizard.
Well, that's what I love. The entire crew of this ship are all like occult based.
Yeah.
Even the captain.
Yeah, because she's we got the lady pirate.
Yeah, she's like
who
a
knows
voodoo.
She knows.
priestess.
Yeah. This fucking creep.
Yeah.
This fucking creep. Cardinal Sodano. As soon as I saw his fat, sweaty face.
He's a rapey bobblehead priest.
Yeah, I want him dead. I want him dead in the cold vacuum of space.
I think with Pat Mills at the helm, you're going to get your way.
I wanted him dead this Prog as soon as I saw him. As soon as I saw his face, I was like, he's dead in the next page, right?
His whole mission is just so that when they get there, he can minister to the Selenites.
Yeah.
So,
I honestly thought Defoe was going to punch his ticket right here.
I would love that. Yeah. He's a total piece of shit.
Oh, he's like a sweaty piece of shit. So Defoe's going around talking to all the crew, trying to make sure that they're not possessed by Erdonazor. They haven't succumbed to euphoria.
Man, before we get there, because I know you're about there, this is of the 2000 AD twist in the little, you know, you have your introduction, your action, and then your twist. This is the best of the 2000 AD twists of all time because of the way that it just matter-of-factly lays out.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what?
So he hears Theodore, the alchemist, saying some incantation.
Yeah.
And Defoe says, I don't know what you're saying, but I heard Satan.
I know you're not summoning Erdonazor. How do I know you're not summoning Erdonazor? It's magic. Why would Jesus? God bless America. He said it's a welcome. A welcome? What? Because he's already on the ship. What? Jesus fucking Murphy. The hold is full of reeks. Of course, why wouldn't it be?
Do you think that...
And look, did you see who's on fucking board? Kearney.
Oh, God.
Kearney is in the hold.
Wow.
How did he get back? How did he get back to the Britannia so fast?
Here's my thought, is that it's quite possible that the crew had no idea that they were on there, but everyone on the ground knew. That he was taken there and planted on the ship with them knowingly.
Yeah.
Because
Euphoria.
They're going to... just because they're going to get to space one way or another, and if they have to send a fucking demon up with them, then so be it.
Yeah, the Crown really wouldn't care. They've been completely unconcerned with Demon Moon Kings as of yet.
That's what I'm thinking, is that they don't really give a shit about anyone on board. And,
nope.
You know, I think Defoe has sort of been a thorn in their side for a good while here anyway. So,
because up in space, it's not their problem.
Yeah, send them up into space and let them deal with that.
Yeah, and we're done. We're done with it. I mean, that way we don't get et up like the Dutch got et up.
Right. They just want to be in space. As long as they can say they made it there.
Yep.
And they beat the Dutch. There you go.
So I'm thinking next week is the wrap-up of Defoe.
Yeah?
I'm thinking.
I want Chaos on the Moon.
Well, I wanted
want
Judge
chaos.
Dredd disassembling El Presidente. We don't always get what we want.
Well, sometimes we do. Because next
If you try
is...
sometimes, you might find.
And I'll tell you how we know, because next is Brink.
You know what? This one was easy to read.
Yeah, because nothing
Nope.
happened.
Nope. She went back to her home to visit Mama.
Yeah. Here's what I said to myself. I opened up Brink and I read my 6 pages and I said, "God damn it, Brink! You proved everything that Cool Johnny Cool says about you every week, which is, oh, it looks like there's going to be action and then there's nothing."
Warp.
Now there was some major character development, and I'm going to stick by it and say,
we got to see.
by the time something does happen with Bridget, we're goddamn sure going to feel it because we know who she is. But I will say, I didn't need an entire Prog to know that she has a mother with dementia at home. Now, it does say something when she goes in and she looks at the bookshelf.
Yeah, and they very painstakingly labeled all of them. I wonder if these fall under the category of Earth porn.
I wondered that too. Yeah,
Because
because
they
things
all
like Black Beauty and
yeah.
Treasure Island, and she grew up with this sense of adventure, and she's stuck on this fucking space station.
It would be, I still contend it would be so much worse to be stuck on this satellite than to be stuck in the Meg.
It's
At least in the Meg, you can go, fuck it, I'm going to roll the dice in the cursed Earth. You can't go, fuck it, I'm going to roll the dice in space without a suit. I'm here.
It's certainly a toss-up. I'll say that for you, but both are a living hell. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I mean, we got some character development, but I honestly, and I've been in Brink's corner here recently, but
I'm not. I don't hate Brink.
No,
it just doesn't grab me.
I feel like it really takes a while to get where it's going, and we probably could have done without an entire
We're
Prog based on this.
We're driving the back country roads instead of taking the goddamn interstate.
We certainly are.
Tell you what, I liked Hope Under Fire this week.
Yeah, it's back and forth for me.
I know. But I liked the idea that we finally got to see what was what. Like, we finally got to kind of look behind the curtain and why everything was happening.
And we got a Cthulhu Lovecraftian horror mafia bloodbath too.
Yeah, we found out that Hope was drawn back to his apartment for one purpose, and that was so Modi could steal his demon, Cade. And Hope didn't think that was possible. Yeah. And he feels that, like he said, he could feel roots that I didn't know existed being torn out of me. And so, what the hell happens
and he's
now?
free.
Yeah.
But he has too much of a sense of duty that he can't let someone run around with this thing.
Yeah, he knows what Cade is... he knows what Cade can do.
Yeah.
He knows the potential there, and especially in Modi's hands. He's like, I gotta fucking... And I don't know how you combat this without your demon with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Modi calls a meeting with all the heads of the mafia or whatever he's a part of, and then just unleashes Cade, and it's a horror show. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of when they find the log of what happened on the bridge of the Event Horizon.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Because people's eyes are coming out, and they've got snake demons coming out of those tongues.
It's like quick flashes of things going in and out of things, and people touching things, and barbed wire going into things.
So it kind of reminds me of almost like Fear, Judge Fear, because Cade, she takes the in one panel she's got the mask on, but you can clearly see in the next she has removed the mask. Yeah. So there must be a horror show under there. So it was a quick read this week, and I liked it. It got me back. Oh, something happened. Something happened.
Yeah. I think that 2000 AD certainly, you can skip if you want, but for me, reading the whole thing, I'm always like, I'm just trying to get to that fucking Dead World. I want to get to
And
Dead
here
World.
we are.
Yeah, it was good this week, man.
You got your red razors.
I was hoping we would get a little bit more. Now I just need the fire element. I want to get some fire in there.
Yeah,
I will be happy.
There has to be a crescendo where all 4 dark judges
are
brought back, but Casey Tweed is just a big bag of dick.
He's a bro.
God, I hate him.
He's such a bro.
I hate him. I want him dead. I hate him, and I want Death to come back from being an ashtray and just fuck the shit out of him.
He's really throwing some of his power around, though. He gets Judge Whisper to put out a psychic attack and slaughter some people. Yeah.
But you know who doesn't fall for it?
Who?
Miria Ruin.
Where's that? I didn't see
She
that.
is the commanding officer.
Yeah. Okay.
And Casey's.
Yeah. Why is she immune?
Well, she's apparently had some work done back at the Black. What do they call it? Oh, and it was awesome too. It's perfectly Russian.
She's the one that was from the
Black
Institute
Academy.
of Destructive Engineering.
Yeah.
Is that the lady?
No. That's a different character.
Okay.
She had worked on at the Black Academy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She has an Orlock implant. I don't know what the hell that does, but it sounds awesome.
God, yeah.
And then she's got the neurocognitive reprogramming, so she must be a psi officer in the Russian, the Dead World equivalent of East Meg, and she can fend off this psionic attack coming from the Dead World judges. The rest of her crew not so much, but she, I'm assuming, survives the attack.
There's like a psionic attack, and there's also like a computer virus attack.
Yeah, they hack the Red Razor's ship, and apparently their whole battle network. Because the support flotilla of destructive engineering comes in, and its war wheel or war roller just detaches itself autonomously. Mm-hmm. So not only do we have a biological attack, a psionic attack, now we've got a cyber attack.
Yeah.
This is pretty interesting. There's a lot of shit going on now.
I love Dead World, man. It's like becoming the thing.
This is how douchey Casey Tweed is.
I know.
You've been spoofed by the Justice Department. There's a big middle finger that comes up on the Red Razor's ship. I want him dead.
He's chugging Monster energy drinks, and he's
surprised his name isn't Kyle.
He's a live streaming. He is a total douche.
I can't wait for him to get what's coming to him, because the Sisters of Death don't give a shit about him. We know that as readers.
Yeah. He's
such a douche nozzle.
He's this weird element of randomness too, like especially when we first, meet him in the beginning, and he's like, "Hey, Fire Dude, go do your thing." And
Fire,
like,
that's right. I forgot he called him Fire Dude.
Yeah,
what a douche.
So,
but he's a good wrestling heel, because you love to hate him.
Yeah, you know. Do. He even has the worst bro hawk of all time.
Oh, he does. I can't wait for that head to not be on his shoulders anymore.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming. I really hope that we get, because don't forget. We had some Mortis action in the beginning, so he's somewhere doing something. He's in space. We had some fire action. Without a doubt, the four have to reunite.
Well, it's like I told you. Who was the guy, the meat monster from the last Prog? Gates. He was brought back early in Dead World by putting his smashed head on a new body. Mm-hmm. So just fucking take Casey's head off and put Sydney's head back on it, and let's shake out the cobwebs. Yeah, it's not like the Sisters of Death can't do that.
Yeah, right.
But overall, I think it was a good prog. Really enjoyed my first on-board, as it's happening read of a Dredd story.
Yeah.
25 years as a Dredd fan, I never got to do that, so that was really fun for me. I looked forward to it every Tuesday night when I'd get the email that, it's up.
Yeah, I'm always excited. I'm like, okay, I get to read. I will stay up waiting for it to, to
See, I'm getting it like Tuesday nights at like 7:30.
No, yeah.
It's hitting my Kindle.
Huh. I don't know why it's. I mean, mine. It's iffy on mine, so I don't know. Maybe it's.
I'm not doing it through the app. I have to do it through the web browser on my Kindle, so that might be why.
Yeah, I'm doing it through the app.
So I hope Under Fire kind of brought me back. Dead World was great. I love Dead World. Brink was Brink. It was there. Defoe is fucking crazy as always. I think we're gonna wrap that up next week.
You think so?
I think so. I could be wrong, and Johnny's been wrong a bunch.
I want him to get to the moon, because I want to know what's going to happen. We might get a battle between the Selenites and Irdonazor, and maybe Defoe's just going to be stuck in the middle trying not to get killed.
That's a good possibility.
Maybe,
I wonder if they have thought about how to get the Britannia back from the moon.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like that was really a factor.
No, well, not for Irdonazor at all.
I just mean for the crown. I don't feel like they care about any of these people.
No, they're just cogs.
I mean, it's politics in the end. So
I keep touching your leg. Yeah. We're too tall and too close together.
So that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
next week we get to start up a new Dredd,
and I believe next week is the Nick Percival story.
Oh, is it?
Unless that's in the
magazine. I wonder
if
it's going to be a one shot. That's what I was wondering. Is the next Dredd going to be like a one shot?
I don't know. I know
we're going right into.
I didn't check, but Nick Percival posted something, and usually his stuff shows up in the magazine. But he posted something saying that a serial killer is loose in Mega City
Again?
Yes, but there's going to be a twist.
Oh,
So, and Nick Percival art, man, you can't ask for much
yeah.
more than that. So, all right, well, I guess that's us for this episode of Cursed Earth Radio's Weekly Dread. Tell people about us and about 2080 Comics. How about that?
Yeah, and we need help getting merch. If we could just, for God's sake, if the shipping was just killing us.
Yeah, and contact your local Planet Replicas and tell them to
Just send HMK a fire badge.
or just make one so I can buy it. All right, well, for Heavy Metal Kid,
Cool Johnny Cool,
this is
Cursed Earth Radio.
Keep listening, creeps.